Our episode today begins in the classroom, where the teacher was explaining to the students about the poor student and the exchange student. She also elaborated on magic and its relation to chemistry. After a brief pause, the teacher glanced at Velto, who asked her, "Is something wrong? Why are you looking at me like that?" She told him he should be taking notes of her lecture. Velto assured her not to worry, as he had memorized everything. To test him, she asked, "Explain to me what happened in the year 722 AD. Velto confidently responded, detailing the incident of the railway and the court wizard of the kingdom of Rostand, named Railarod, who went mad during an experiment when the soul of the summoned hero took over his body. It was a disaster in every sense of the word," he concluded. The teacher acknowledged his answer, saying, all right, that's enough. I can see you know everything." The class was astonished by his detailed account, as if he had actually been present in that year. The scene then shifts to Machina, who was eating when a strange boy with large ears resembling those of a goat approached her. He mentioned that they were interested in Velto, then made some provocative remarks until she stood up and warned him to watch his words or face a severe beating. At that moment, Velto intervened, saying, "Can't you see I'm enjoying my meal in peace? And here you come to disturb us. What's your problem, you big-eared idiot?" The boy retorted, "Big-eared. And who are you, you fool?" Velto replied, "Even the smallest know the great. I don't need to introduce myself since I've already done so before." The boy then introduced himself as Albert, the first son of the Hadje Rams family. Velto dismissed him, saying it didn't matter and that he remembered Albert's grandfather trembling before him during the Stambolt battle, comparing him to a mouse. "Furious," Albert exclaimed. "How dare you insult my grandfather with such lies?" Velto retorted, "These aren't lies, and I have no intention of humiliating you in front of everyone for your lesser talents. But how can someone of your rank act with such arrogance?" Enraged, Albert challenged him to a duel. The next day, Hijiki was sitting in the combat arena when Makina and Takashi approached her. They learned from her that she was disliked because she lacked any magical abilities. They advised her to enroll in a magic school to start from scratch and potentially become much stronger. At that moment, the teacher, Maggie, arrived. She was to oversee the duel between Velto and Albert. Velto called out to Hijiki, saying, "Watch this duel between me and that jerk. I'll win for sure. Sit back, enjoy, and before you finish your cup of tea, I'll be done." Albert then declared, "Don't get too excited. I have some bad news for ignorant students like you. This school measures its students' abilities by mana output, mana manipulation, and total mana. I'm the only student in this school who achieved a rank in all 3 subjects. In other words, no one in this school can defeat me in magical combat." At this point, it was time to solidify this confidence. Velto responded that it wouldn't be fair to fight Albert head-on, so he wanted to add a condition. They would take an oath. If Albert lost or took any action during the duel, he would do everything Velto said. In return, if Velto won without taking any action, Albert would cease all interactions with Hijiki both in the classroom and anywhere else. Albert agreed, saying that a promise was a promise and he would honor it. Velto replied that this wasn't just a promise but a solemn pledge, and as a noble he understood the gravity of such an oath. Albert answered that he vowed to his name as Albert if he failed to honor it. Meanwhile, Hijiki was furious with Velto's actions because Albert was incredibly strong and held the top position in the school for a reason. Makina reassured her, saying that Albert didn't stand a chance and Velto would undoubtedly emerge victorious. The match between Velto and Albert began. Albert used a spell, but Velto mockingly told him not to disappoint him by trying to defeat him with such a feeble spell. If Albert intended to destroy him, he should unleash his full power. Albert decided to use his strongest spell, but Majoro, the announcer of the duel, urged him not to use it as it would strip the duel of its meaning and intensity. Velto intervened, telling Majoro not to interfere, as this was a part of his learning process. Takahashi observed that Velto seemed elated, as he hadn't participated in a traditional magical duel like this in a long time. So Albert proceeded to cast his strongest spell and launched it at Velto. However, Velto caught it effortlessly with his hand, shocking everyone. Torricello had anticipated such a turn of events. This attack, considered Albert's strongest, was neutralized with ease. Velto remarked to Albert that it wasn't impossible for him to become an intriguing opponent, but only after another 200 years of training. He noted that Albert's mana production and ether manipulation were excellent for someone of this era, which could only be attributed to relentless daily training. To reward Albert for his diligent efforts in magic, Veltol decided to let him experience the essence of magic firsthand. He unleashed a spell and struck Albert with it. Hijiki didn't understand what Veltol had done. Makina explained that Veltol had released a compressed mass of mana, which was an honor for Albert to experience directly from Lord Veltol. Hijiki retorted that it was easy to say such things but hard to execute, as no ordinary human or high school student could manage such a feat. Majuro declared Veltol the victor. After the duel ended, Veltol approached his friends and dedicated his victory to Hijiki. Hijiki, though angry, thanked him but demanded he stay away from her, or he would face consequences. She then left the group. Makina says, "You can go home on your own if you want to." Takahashi responds, "I can't go home without seeing the treasure. Even though I didn't expect us to need all 3 crests to open the chest, it seems like all we face are problems. Why can't you open it with your magic and just get it over with?" Veltol replies, "That's possible, but some ancient seals are designed to erase their contents if forced open." Makina adds, "It's better not to take risks. We'll have to gather the ornaments slowly and steadily. That leaves us with only the other 2 for now." Veltol says, "I've already found some leads through a quick search. In the meantime, the orb got lost and its location is now unknown. We're searching for a missing treasure without any clues." Takahashi asks, "Do you mean Hazuki?" Veltol nods. "Yes, and based on what I heard from Albert, it seems she's the head of the Renard house, one of the 3 great houses. Their family's fall from grace might be linked to the loss of the orb, the symbol of their power." Takahashi says, "This could serve as a clue in our search. So that match was just a strategy to leave a good impression on her. The Demon Lord has been making everyone dance in the palm of his wicked hand this whole time. That kid simply annoyed me." "You say that, yet you ended up helping her." Veltol comments, "We finally arrived. See what awaits us in the future." Next, we see Takahashi speaking, "Welcome to the other side of Kihabara, the counterpart to the city of magic, the land of lust and vanity." Veltol observes, "The electric city is overwhelming just to look at. The interior must be like a maze. The idea of exploring this labyrinth and gathering information excites me." Takahashi replies, "This is the hell you're about to enter. They say that once you get lost here, it takes a full day to find your way out. We'll definitely need a guide who knows the place. I'm the Supergirl who knows everything about gathering information. I'll take you to all the most thrilling intelligence hotspots." They enter a restaurant, and Takahashi asks the waiter for a table for 3. Veltol talks to her, "I don't mean to doubt you, but can we really gather intelligence here?" She responds, "You're so naive. A maid cafe is where all kinds of people gather. That's reason enough to visit a maid cafe to gather information." Veltol comments, "I was sure you picked this place just for sightseeing." Takahashi replies, "You sure love to make random remarks from time to time. This place has a strange vibe I can't quite describe." Makina asks, "Don't you think these prices are too high?" Takahashi angrily responds, "That's the price you pay for fulfilling dreams. That's the value you pay for." Makina says, "We don't need to buy such dreams. We used to have maids and servants to cater to us all the time." She adds, "Even though it's been a while since I've had such luxuries, the maids I know had somewhat different manners. One of my friends kept teasing the maids." Veltol cuts in, saying, "I remember what Reynard said, it stuck in my mind." Makina asks, "Do you mean when she told us to stay away from her?" Veltol nods. "After our brief exchange, I felt distancing herself from others. Forcing her to talk would have backfired. We still have plenty of time, and we should stay on her good side. She didn't strike me as a bad person. I want to get along with her." Just then, a waitress comes over to ask if they need anything. However, upon seeing them, she is shocked because it turns out to be Reynard herself. So then that's how today's episode of this anime ends. Stay tuned for the next episodes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and activate the notification bell so you won't miss anything new.